I'm a music historian and I'm really interested in the question of musical meaning. I spend most of my time trying to tease out and set into words the significance of this non-verbal, supposedly ineffable art form for specific people at specific times. So on one level this means integrating what we might often view as a trivial or decorative medium into broader social, political and intellectual histories. But I also try and preserve what's special about music, the ways in which its slippery modes of signification have throughout history allowed people to cross otherwise rigid linguistic boundaries, hierarchies and value systems. In my current book project, entitled Sacred Secularism, I'm really interested in the way that music for the 20th century concert hall and opera house has blurred the boundaries between the so-called sacred and secular realms. While people tend to associate religious music with music composed with the liturgy in mind or with theological concepts in mind, I'm fascinated by works that conjured the spectre of the sacred in supposedly secular public spaces. They were written by composers who themselves often had a complicated relationship with the church. Composers like Martineau, Britten and Bernstein. But it also included composers like Messiaen and Stravinsky, whose intellectual and musical eclecticism complicated the supposed purity and orthodoxy of their religious faith. Most importantly though, I'm interested in the ways that critics and audiences perceived the sacred and the secular in these works, and used them to work through their own conflicted relationships with religion and religious experience in the modern age. This research pushes us to rethink old narratives about the 20th century as a century of straightforward secularization. In recent years, scholars of religion have spent lots of energy trying to demonstrate that even when church attendance dwindled, religion thrived in all sorts of new contexts. Movie theatres, religious book clubs, and even exercise programs. In my research, I want to illuminate music's role in this story of spiritual change and rejuvenation. And rather than thinking about this music as a kind of fake or inauthentic spirituality for disenchanted audiences, I want us to take seriously the religious experience that critics reported in response to these works. I find questions of musical meaning fascinating because they're so challenging and yet so instinctive at the same time. Everyone listens to music after all, and I'd say most find it meaningful. But if you ask them to explain what and how music signifies, they're often at a loss. I think about my job as not teaching students how to listen to music, which is often how people think about music appreciation, so much as giving them the confidence and the tools to articulate their own experience of music. And of course, it's inevitably a task that's destined to fail. I mean, if we could articulate the experience of music in words, we wouldn't need music. But as I like to say to the students, it's worth attempting that challenge.